Gay Life Television is quality broadcasting for the LGBTQ community. With such hosts as David Teen, Davio Flavio, Joe Cranach, and David Sin, we bring you a variety of different live shows each and every week. Find us at gaylifetelevision.com, on your Roku box, or on the Nerox app on your smartphone. Positive Outlook is brought to you by Astee's South Hills Pharmacy. Astee's South Hills Pharmacy, Pittsburgh's full-service pharmacy and HIV specialist.
Positive Outlook is a show designed to reach out to HIV-positive men and women and empower them to live a positively positive lifestyle. Positive Outlook is in no way conducting mockery or any disrespect to the many millions who are living or have lived with HIV. Gay Life Television is in no way promoting the misuse or non-use of condoms or other safe-sex practices. The views and interviews conducted on this program are based solely on the opinions of the host and the host's guests, who are not medical professionals, but just maybe. So please, sit back, enjoy, and laugh with us as we shine a good light on a bad thing. HIV is no laughing matter. In fact, in the United States alone, there are well over 1.2 million people currently living with the virus. With 50,000 new infections every year, that equates to roughly about one new infection every 10 minutes. Of those newly infected, 16% are completely unaware of the fact that they are indeed infected with HIV, and 26% are between the ages of 13 to 24. Who do we reach out first when receiving a positive diagnosis? Our friends? Our family? Lawyers? My name is Robbie Aldrin. I've been HIV positive since July 9th, 2009, and I'm here to share with you why it's no longer called surviving with HIV, but thriving with HIV. Welcome to Positive Outlook. Today on Positive Outlook, we're going to start with discussing health and nutrition. Now, we all know that beach season is coming up, and it seems to get harder and harder to get that 8-pack that we all so desire. So how do we get started on nutrition? Well, the first thing is we need to affect our metabolism. If you can appropriately manipulate your metabolism, you can actually help your body burn fat even by sitting and standing. So how do we affect our metabolism? Well, the best way to do that is to jumpstart it first thing in the morning. Waking up, having a healthy dose of cardio and a balanced breakfast is going to keep you burning calories throughout the day. So what is the best form of cardio? Well, it happens to be all of our favorite pastime, sex. The best thing that you can do first thing in the morning is have a healthy dose of morning sex with that beau that has sitting waiting for you. Dr. Harry Fish actually wrote into an article stating that testosterone levels are increased during sleep and blood flow is increased to the penis, hence why we tend to pitch a tent first thing in the morning. So when your husband rolls over and he's a little frustrated about you having a little ruckus in the sheets, let him know it's for his health.
Positive Outlook is brought to you by Astee's South Hills Pharmacy. Astee's South Hills Pharmacy, Pittsburgh's full-service pharmacy and HIV specialist. Hi there, Gay Life Television viewers. This is Joe Cranach from Straight Not Straight and Cup of Joe here on Gay Life Television. So I have to ask you a question. Do you have a Roku box? Well, if you don't, then you're missing out on a ton of on-demand and exclusive content that we have available on Gay Life Television Premium. You can subscribe today by going to the Roku store on your Roku box or on the web at Roku.com and adding Gay Life Television Premium to your Roku for only $1.99 a month. Bringing quality television to the LGBTQ community, it's Gay Life Television Premium. Gay Life Television is quality broadcasting for the LGBTQ community. With such hosts as David Teen, Davio Flavio, Joe Cranach, and David Sin, we bring you a variety of different live shows each and every week. Find us at gaylifetelevision.com, on your Roku box, or on the Nerox app on your smartphone.
Continuing on with our discussion about nutrition, we're going to talk about fats. Now, I know it's hard for any gay man to turn down a nice sized sausage, but sometimes those sausages don't have exactly what we need in our body. And I'm talking fats. Now, you have healthy fats and unhealthy fats. Pretty straightforward. But what we don't realize is most of the animal fats really aren't the best for you. The best fats actually come from vegetables. So we're going to discuss one of my favorite superfruits, and in fact, that new Latin boyfriend you're going to have is going to be very impressed with your knowledge coming up. I'm talking about avocados, or if you really want to sound fancy, aguacates. Now, avocados can be pretty easy to work with, and they're a healthy dose of fats along with other fantastic vitamins. So the website undergroundhealth.com has actually posted an article about the 15 beneficial things that are associated with avocados. Now, as HIV patients, it seems that the one problem we all face is heart disease. Doctors still aren't sure what is affecting our heart disease. Is it the medications, or is it the fact that we have HIV in itself? Now, some of the big problems with HIV is higher triglycerides, lower good cholesterol, and high inflammation in our veins and arteries. So here comes avocados. Avocados, the 15 beneficial things about avocados is they in fact lower cholesterol levels, they control blood pressure, they have anti-inflammatory properties, promote eye health, regulate the blood sugar levels, prevent birth defects, reduce stroke risk, protects against cancer, fights free radicals, has anti-aging properties, cures bad breath, increases nutrient absorption, skin care, and it actually helps with weight gain. Avocados are one of the best and most delicious superfoods you can have out there. And as I said before, I really think your Latin boyfriend's going to appreciate the new meals that you can make.
Hi there, Gay Life Television viewers. This is Joe Cranach from Straight Not Straight and Cup of Joe here on Gay Life Television. So I have to ask you a question. Do you have a Roku box? Well, if you don't, then you're missing out on a ton of on-demand and exclusive content that we have available on Gay Life Television Premium. You can subscribe today by going to the Roku store on your Roku box or on the web at Roku.com and adding Gay Life Television Premium to your Roku for only $1.99 a month. Bringing quality television to the LGBTQ community, it's Gay Life Television Premium.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Positive Outlook's first interviewee. Actually, I have here the one person that has known me the longest in my entire life, and still after 29 years, she says that I find new and exciting ways to be a pain in her tail. So I give you guys a Miss Arlene Spencer, also known as my mother. Are you there, Mom?
Yes, I am here. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you. Can you hear us okay? Everything's all right on your end?
Yeah, I can hear just fine. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely, Mom. And so you are located in Midlothian, Virginia, correct?
Yes, I am.
Fantastic. Now, you have some experience with HIV and AIDS. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience?
Well, I'm an LPN. I worked in a inner city health department in Richmond, Virginia, and there we had the STD clinic 3 days a week. And then I worked in another clinic in Richmond that had a Ryan White clinic within their facility. So I've worked with quite a bit.
Fantastic, fantastic. Now, working in those facilities, have you ever given any type of HIV tests?
Yes.
And what was the youngest person that you gave a test to that showed positive?
The youngest I can recall was 17.
17. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Well, I mean, of course, he was devastated. You know, at 17, the peer pressure is everything, and at that age, I feel like it's really hard for homosexual men at that age anyway to feel accepted, and then to get such a diagnosis at such a young age, because, of course, you know, we're still learning about HIV every day, and as a 17-year-old, when you get a diagnosis like that, I mean, he just felt like it was the end of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, statistics have shown that each year there's roughly about 50,000 new infections, and the highest infection rate, 26%, is actually between the ages of 13 and 24. So he falls definitely right into that age bracket. Now, how old was
Yeah.
your son or myself when I came out of the closet?
23.
Perfect, 23. And how did that make you feel when I finally came out?
Well, actually, I was very glad to see you come out. In fact, if you recall, I kind of helped push you out because I was seeing signs, had been for a long time, and I had questioned you about it, and you had denied it because you just weren't ready to accept it yet. But I think once you finally came out and you realized that your family and your friends, they still loved you and supported you, and that was not an issue to any of us. And so I just felt like it put you in a better place because you could finally be more comfortable with who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it was really tough for me at first. I first started coming out when I was in Gainesville State College, actually. I was studying music. And ironically, I had a gay roommate who doesn't have a gay roommate in college, I suppose. And when I first made my attempt, my father was really sick, and so I had to actually go back into the closet. When I moved to Virginia at 22, I finally did come out. So yeah, it's a very tough challenge for a lot of kids. Fortunately, I had my mother and such. So moving on, we were discussing the youngest HIV diagnosis you ever given. Now, as I know, and as I try to tell people, gay men have routine maintenance or routine checkups, so to say, as well as females do. How do you feel, and what is your opinion on that?
On what?
On
On
routine
the
maintenance,
routine
on basically
checkup?
checkups, going in, blood work.
Well, I think a lot of that depends on a person's lifestyle. I mean, that's not really a gay or heterosexual thing. I just feel like it depends on your lifestyle. If you're single and you're promiscuous, then you need to be checked more often. If you're older and you've settled into a monogamous relationship, you still need to get yourself checked because you may be monogamous and your partner may not be. So you still need to get yourself checked, but I don't feel like as often. But
Absolutely.
now with the HIV test, you need to wait 90 days between the tests because it takes that long for it to show up. So it's really pointless to get it done any more often than 90 days.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, moving on. So, yes, of course, your son had just come out of the closet. It wasn't too much longer until he was out of the closet that he actually met, you met my partner, my ex-husband. Now,
hmm
the day that I was diagnosed, can you tell me a little bit about just the emotions that were going through that day?
Well, of course I was upset because as a parent, you want the world to be perfect for your children. I mean, when you were a little boy and you fell off the bike, I freaked out. I mean, that's just how parents are. I wasn't afraid as far as for your safety or your life because you were getting yourself checked very often, so I knew you hadn't been positive for long. And I know you take good care of yourself. I mean, you've always ate healthy and a non-smoker, not a heavy drinker, and I knew you would take your medication, so I knew you would be okay. I knew that. But I knew it was going to be tough on you until you figured out that.
Now, how tough was it? I know, as from what we all know, I was diagnosed from my ex-partner. Now, how did you feel about my ex-partner when you heard about the diagnosis?
I thought a lot of him. You know I did. I loved him to death. He used to help me cook. How did I not love that?
Absolutely.
But I was disappointed that he hadn't gotten himself checked. But, I kind of blamed you for that as much as I did him. When you get into a new relationship, especially when you consider the majority of homosexual men, whether they know it or not, the majority of them are positive. There are more positive in the homosexual men than there are negative. So I feel like any time you get ready to go into a new relationship, that you kind of owe it to your partner to get yourself tested. So, I mean, I was disappointed that he hadn't gotten himself tested, but he was from a different country, different cultures, do things differently. So I really couldn't hold it against him too bad.
Absolutely, it's very true. I try to educate people that, HIV and infections and such is definitely a two-way street. Someone just can't go out there and just get infected on their own. I mean, disclosure really is a two-way thing. And so touching up on that, what do you think is the best defense when it comes to HIV? There are a few things I've heard, condom use, safe sex practices, disclosure. Just you personally, what do you think is the best defense someone can have against HIV?
I can't think of anything better than safe sex. I mean, you have to use condoms. You just have to. I mean, you just have to use condoms because not only does that protect you from HIV, but 1 in 4 people have herpes. And then there's all the other STDs that have been around since the beginning of time. And there's nothing that's going to protect you from any of them except condoms. And, I mean, you have to wear them. You have to use them. And money is not an issue. You can go to any health department and get free condoms any day of the week.
Absolutely. In fact, there's many organizations that will hand out packets that have condoms, that have lubrication, that have literature. There's plenty of places that do, HIV buses, free testings, things of that nature. Do you know of any organizations around your area that do free testings at, let's say, concert events, any type of other like gay events?
I'm not aware because I haven't been in that area, so I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. I never have. I don't tend to like to work on the weekends, and most of these events are on the weekends. But so I don't know if the health department sits up at places like that or not. But you can always go to the CDC, the Center of Disease Control website. I mean, that's pretty much the godfather of healthcare. And you can go there, and they have wonderful resources, and I'm sure you could get an answer to that question from there.
Absolutely. And so what do you think? Of course, the show is focused on life after a positive diagnosis. What do you think personally is the first steps after receiving that positive diagnosis?
Get educated. Get educated. There are resources. I mean, your medicine is not going to cost you anything. Your blood tests, your blood work, you just need to be on top of it. You need to be proactive when it comes to that. And as soon as you're diagnosed, educate. I mean, and like I say, the CDC is a good source of information. Your local health department, many towns have Ryan White clinics. So there's an abundance of resources out there. So when when someone is newly diagnosed, you just really need to embrace the resources in your area.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, your friends and family, I know ever since doing this show, you've been very vocal about your son's HIV status and what he's doing. How do your friends and how do your family react?
To the fact that you're positive?
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, they weren't really that surprised because, like I was saying earlier, the majority of homosexual men are.
Absolutely.
And a lot of them don't realize it, but the majority of them are. So my family really wasn't that surprised. And, of course, we're blessed enough to have a very big, close Southern family anyway. So, you're the little Robbie, whether you grew 2 heads, I mean, they'd still love you anyway.
Absolutely, that's true. Nothing beats our Thanksgivings, I can admit that. And so now, so moving a little bit forward, so what now, since your son has had his diagnosis and what I'm doing right now, how do you feel about it?
I'm very excited, and I'm so proud of you. And don't get me started because I'll be crying because I'm so proud of you. Because, like I just said before, I mean, education is power. People need to know this is not a death sentence. This is not the end of the world. There are medications. There are resources available. Get yourself tested. Take care of yourself. It's a jungle out there. Eat right, stay healthy, and I'm just so excited that you are spreading the word to where people don't feel like they have to, hide their diagnosis. I mean, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's really nothing to be ashamed of, and education is the key, and you're helping to put that out there and to teach people about the resources, and I'm very, very proud and excited about what you're doing.
Well, I'm doing everything I can, I suppose. Well, Mom, I'm going to go ahead and wrap everything up. I just want to personally thank you so much, Miss Spencer, or my mother, for being my first
You
guest
can
here
still call me Mom.
on Positive Outlook. Is there any last words or anything else you want to say before we sign off?
Just that I love you and I'm proud of you. Keep up the good work. Education's the key.
Awesome. Thanks, Mom. All right, everybody. So I think we've proved that not everyone can have a support system here, but we can do whatever we can to help each other out. So definitely reach out. If you don't have support, do everything you can. As my mother just said, the CDC, your local health departments, they have professionals lined up and ready to take care of anything and everything you have. Luckily, I was given a pretty fantastic mother. Not only is she a nurse, but she's pretty awesome, I definitely have to say. And so I want to thank you all so much. I want to thank my mother for being here with us for this interview, and look for our next interview coming next week.
And could I add one more thing?
Absolutely, Mom.
And again, not everybody has the support of their family. If you don't have the support of your family, find a support system. There are group therapies for HIV-positive people. There's group therapy formed. There's resources at the health departments. If you don't have support within your family, find support in other areas because there's plenty of support out there. You just have to look around and find it.
Absolutely, and now there's even a TV show.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks again, Mom.
You guys have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Positive Outlook is brought to you by Astee's South Hills Pharmacy. Astee's South Hills Pharmacy, Pittsburgh's full-service pharmacy and HIV specialists. Hi there, Gay Life Television viewers. This is Joe Crynock from Straight Not Straight and Cup of Joe here on Gay Life Television. So I have to ask you a question. Do you have a Roku box? Well, if you don't, then you're missing out on a ton of on-demand and exclusive content that we have available on Gay Life Television Premium. You can subscribe today by going to the Roku store on your Roku box or on the web at Roku.com and adding Gay Life Television Premium to your Roku for only $1.99 a month. Bringing quality television to the LGBTQ community, it's Gay Life Television Premium. Positive Outlook is brought to you by Astee's South Hills Pharmacy. Astee's South Hills Pharmacy, Pittsburgh's full-service pharmacy and HIV specialists.
Now, in our next segment is a segment that I'm really excited about, where we share facts as opposed to myths, and we give you a healthy dose of truth. At thestigmaproject.com, they've been working on a 5-year research between HIV-negative people and HIV-positive people. The study actually has over 8,000 participants in which they take a HIV-negative female and an HIV-negative male and pair them, pretty sure they've been paired before that, with an HIV-positive gentleman. Now, the people that are HIV positive are in fact at undetectable levels of a viral load of 200 minus. So far, the study has gone on for 2 years with over 30,000 instances of sexual interaction. It's a lot of sex in 2 years. Now, the fun thing that they have noticed is so far, 2 years with over 30,000 instances of sex, 0, I say again, less than 1, 0 people have become infected with HIV. They stated, statistically speaking, that with unprotected sex, and the partner being the top, or the aggressor, if you will, unprotected sex, he had a less than 1% chance of becoming infected with HIV. Now, on the flip side, no pun intended, with the bottom, or the receptive partner, using unprotected sex and actually being ejaculated into, the person showed a less than 4% chance of being infected. Now, those are just statistics. But as the director actually said, a gentleman by the name of Allison Rogers stated that our best estimate, based on those being affected, is so far in 2 years, 0 people have become infected. That's a fantastic study, and the results will actually be finished in 2017. I've been following this study for a couple of years now, and trust me when I say I'll be following it until 2017.
Positive Outlook is brought to you by Astee's South Hills Pharmacy. Astee's South Hills Pharmacy, Pittsburgh's full-service pharmacy and HIV specialist. Hi there, Gay Light Television viewers. This is Joe Cranach from Straight Not Straight and Cup of Joe here on Gay Light Television. So I have to ask you a question. Do you have a Roku box? Well, if you don't, then you're missing out on a ton of on-demand and exclusive content that we have available on Gay Light Television Premium. You can subscribe today by going to the Roku store on your Roku box or on the web at Roku.com and adding Gay Light Television Premium to your Roku for only $1.99 a month. Bringing quality television to the LGBTQ community, it's Gay Light Television Premium.
Gay Light Television is quality broadcasting for the LGBTQ community. With such hosts as David Dean, Davio Flavio, Joe Cranach, and David Stan, we bring you a variety of different live shows each and every week. Find us at GayLightTelevision.com on your Roku box or on the Nerox app on your smartphone.